my philosophy is this. I'm Malcolm X when it comes to the economics. You know what I'm saying? Black businesses and all that. But I'm Martin Luther King when it comes to my purpose. You know, because my purpose as a light worker is to assist all those that need help. Now, of course, they got to respect me, of course, and they got to be open to it. You know what I'm saying? But for all those that seek help. So I don't mind aligning myself or being around, you know, white people or different people. Because if I can learn something and grow and expand, which I have, you know, that's aiding my soul and feeding my soul because our people, a lot of our people don't have it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have a brother like you or a brother like him growing up. You know, I had a father that taught me is proud, you know, hey, be proud to be Trinidadian, that exposed me to a different culture that allowed me not to get caught up in the whole fashion, being a thug and stuff like that. Cause I was a follower. I could have easily went by that same path and got into jail and this and that. But being around those white kids actually, you know, because a lot of the black kids at that time got caught up in all that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Fake black culture.
Yeah.
Fake black culture.
Yeah, the fake
that's
black
not
culture.
our culture. That's not our culture.
Yeah, and I do agree.
Weed and I mean all that shit. That's not our culture, man. They oh, this is black culture. You know, this fucking movie and this Lil Wayne and like that's not our culture, bro. Like that's not our culture. Like so that's our what they promote for black people to get trapped up. But they're still talking about selling crack in these raps. Nobody even does that anymore. They're talking about that because
tell my brother that. Go ahead.
I'm just saying they doing that for the most part.
It's a sole concept of a culture.
Yeah.
It's a sole concept, a financial concept of a culture.
Yeah.
That's been streamed on our media platform, BT, the pimp culture, the pimp society. So everything negative they've associated with a black experience, making it seem that this is our culture.
Right.
It's only a life-growing experience. That doesn't make it a culture just because you have done crack, you have smoked weed, you do listen to rap music. That's not a culture. That's a social experience.
Right.
You know, and that's the problem. I think the problem is we really don't at all have an identity for a culture. That's the problem.
That's why it has to be defined now. It has to be defined by us now.
That's the real problem. We're here sitting in a room talking about with different opinions of who we are or who we should be. And do we see any other cultures, white people have this conversation? No. Do we see Indians have this conversation? No. Do Asians actually have a conversation of who are we? No. We're the only group not knowing who we actually are. And it's because it was stripped from us and what has been placed in our mind is who we are. That's a true problem.
Yeah, it is. And our people got to be more open to rearrange and embrace that, bro. Like, yo, and it's not even just with this generation. Let's take it back. Let's take it back. After the Black Panthers, right? After the Black Panther era, you know what I'm saying? Our people was down. People was wearing afros. Our people was saying Black Power and this and that, right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Now, here we come to 70s, and here comes all the Black exploitation films. You know what I'm saying? Talking about pimp culture and this and that.
That was
you
media.
Yeah.
That was media.
Yeah, that was media. But our people dropped all the afros and this and that to start dressing like pimps.
Right. I think something is if we want to talk about a culture that is ours, is we have to talk about something that's exclusive to us that nobody else does, that nobody else lives, that nobody else thinks about, that nobody else feels. I know one thing as a Black culture, we were at one point the most together community as far as men and women outside of all cultures. Well, maybe them Indians, they were doing something different for it. It was more so based out of control. Our culture was based out of unity and love for each other.
It was.
And that has been stripped of us.
Yes.
We had everything that we feel that we're lacking or the traumas that we're trying to survive. We had that already. And because, I mean, the majority of Black people in the United States actually believes our history started in slavery.
True.
That is a very important mindset to change. It's like we really got to bring everything to the table, and then we got to sift through it and sort through it so we can get back to now we can make an itemized list, and set some things, because otherwise you're just bouncing around miseducation, perceptionary issues, etc. But when we get back to our core, now we can start to move forward. I was thinking, I used to be opposed to doing things like this back in the day because it went against the G code. We're the only group of people that will air our plans out and broadcast.
True.
Facts.
Yeah.
You don't see, to my brother's point, you don't see Asians doing that. You don't see Caucasian people doing that. Any other culture airing out family business.
Right.
And